The Obi-Wan Kenobi series is now upon us, but as good as it is, as always, there is questions left unanswered, so allow me to answer and explain and debunk these so-called plot holes. So firstly, how can the Grand Inquisitor be dead if he's literally alive in Star Wars Rebels, which is set after the Kenobi series? Does this mean that Star Wars Rebels is retconned? Well, no. Of course not. The Grand Inquisitor will somehow survive Reva stabbing him with her lightsaber. As weird as it seems and as likely as it should be that he's dead, he just won't be. They will not retcon Star Wars Rebels because it's 4 seasons of content that Disney themselves created, many people including myself love, and it directly ties into the Ahsoka series, which is coming late 2023. So given all of that, it's not even remotely close to worth doing for the small potential benefit of the plot of the Kenobi series. And to be honest, I don't even know if it would benefit the plot of the Kenobi series, killing off the Grand Inquisitor, because yes, it would allow Reva to do her thing and track down Kenobi without the Grand Inquisitor stopping him, but an idea that's floating around is when the Grand Inquisitor comes back, he will be the one to actually kill Reva, and I quite like that idea. It would definitely be a very entertaining lightsaber duel. As much as I like the character of Reva, she doesn't appear in any content after the Kenobi series, so it's quite likely she's going to die in this series, and that'd be a very cool way to do it. But if I am right, why would they use him as a death fake out? Surely they don't think that we've all fallen for this like big trick, and when he does come back in episode 3 or 4 or whatever, we're all going to be so shocked because we know he's going to be alive, because we know they're not going to retcon Rebels. It's such a weird way to go about it. They obviously just want to remove him from the story temporarily so Reva can do her thing, but the way that they played it out genuinely does seem like they want us to believe that he is dead, but he just isn't. So let's say he is alive. How can he be? Because he literally has a hole through his body. He got stabbed through the stomach. Well, the key point there is that it's his stomach. 1, obviously his heart and lungs will be fine, and 2, his species actually has 2 stomachs, so he can quite easily pull a Fennec Shand, get some cybernetic parts, and be absolutely fine. Or, potentially the more likely way, because this will keep him out of the story for a little bit longer, is the good old back to tank. It very much just depends on when they want to bring him back into the story. Like, will the Grand Inquisitor return in episode 6 to then kill Reva so she has the whole series to do everything? Or is he going to come back in episode 4 and then track her for like 1 or 2 episodes? We're just going to have to wait and see. But trust me, he is alive. Now, secondly, how does Reva, just some low-level Inquisitor, know that Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader and potentially know about the events of Mustafar? She did say he's alive to Obi-Wan, meaning that she knew at some point something happened to Anakin or Vader that would make Obi-Wan think that he's not alive. That's why she pointed out that he is alive.
He's alive, Obi-Wan. Anakin Skywalker is alive.
Well, for starters, the very first scene of the series is an Order 66 flashback, and I think it is extremely obvious that Reva was one of the younglings in that scene, because why else would they focus on this particular group in an Order 66 flashback? If none of those characters are of any relevance to the plot of Kenobi, then they wouldn't have focused on them. They would have focused on probably Anakin / Vader himself going through the Jedi Temple in Order 66, not this specific group. So if Reva is one of those younglings, she probably saw Anakin like killing off a bunch of Jedi, and then saw on the records that Darth Vader was the one that did all of these things that she saw Anakin do, therefore she knows that Anakin is Vader. Or alternatively, she still saw Anakin doing those things and heard clones call him Vader, so when this new person in a big black mechanical machine suit is called Darth Vader, she knows that it's Anakin in the suit. As for Mustafar, she probably doesn't know the exact events of Mustafar, but she likely knows that Obi-Wan is the one responsible for leaving Anakin / Vader in a state where he is now relying on this big suit. And it's pretty obvious, given how much support the suit provides to Anakin inside, that he was left in a near-death state by Obi-Wan Kenobi. It also doesn't take a genius to figure out that Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Jedi Master, would not leave a literal Sith Lord in a near-death state, not actually killing them off, if he wasn't 100% convinced that he was going to die, whether he finished him off or just left him there. But she also expected Obi-Wan to already know that he's alive, given her surprise after she tells Obi-Wan that he's alive when she says, "Oh, you didn't know," or something like that.
Lord Vader will be pleased. You didn't know.
The fact that Reva is obsessed with capturing Obi-Wan specifically to get on Vader's good side does back up the point that she knows that Obi-Wan is the person who did this to Vader. Now the third one is one that I've not seen too many people speak about, but honestly it probably should be spoken about a little bit more. How does a literal 501st clone, a legion of troops that Obi-Wan has fought alongside many times, not recognize Obi-Wan Kenobi when on Daiyu? Well, for starters, according to Google, a legion consists of 9,216 troops, so even if Obi-Wan had met literal thousands of 501st troops, there's still thousands that he would have never met. However, the clones probably have to learn about the Jedi before actually being sent into the war, so they're like ready for the war. But then again, you can counter that by saying there's literally thousands of Jedi, so even if this particular clone did study Obi-Wan in his training for the war, there's a decent chance that he wouldn't have remembered his face. The third reason why the clone probably wouldn't recognize Obi-Wan on Daiyu is the spice on Daiyu. Obi-Wan literally gets given a free sample when walking around asking for help trying to find Leia, who he said was his daughter, and then this girl comes up to him, gives him a free sample and says like once Obi-Wan's gotten through that free sample, he would have forgotten her by then.
A couple more of those and you'll forget she ever existed.
So who's to say that a clone veteran, also probably looking for help on Daiyu, wouldn't have been given a free sample as well. Therefore, once he got through it, he probably forgot a couple things about the war. And then finally, for this specific point, and probably the most important, Obi-Wan looks a little bit different because of the 10-year gap since the Clone Wars. He was also wearing his hood up in a dark area, and it said that the inhibitor chips messed with the clones' heads like quite a lot. It removed their personality, decision making, and probably at least some of their memories once Order 66 was activated, this is. So with all of that considered, it's quite likely that just one random clone from the 501st Legion wouldn't be able to tell that this guy in a cloak was Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now fourth, how does that iconic scene from A New Hope actually make any sense now that Leia Organa has met Obi-Wan Kenobi? And of course the scene that I'm on about is the "Help me Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope." Well, Leia didn't meet Obi-Wan Kenobi, she met Ben. The idea behind this plot hole actually being a plot hole is when Leia is talking to Obi-Wan on the hologram, she mentions that Obi-Wan helped her father Bail Organa years ago in the Clone Wars, rather than mentioning that Obi-Wan helped her years ago. And she of course did this because she didn't know that Obi-Wan was the person that helped her. She just thought it was some random Jedi called Ben. I mean, it's not like when Bail Organa or whoever told Leia about Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine, they would have also showed her a photo of him, because anyone in the rebellion would know that R2-D2 already knows what Obi-Wan looks like, therefore Leia doesn't really need to know. So up until Luke calls Obi-Wan Ben, Leia would have never suspected a thing.
Ben?
Now, episode 3 of Kenobi is coming very soon, and I'm sure it's going to bring its own bunch of plot holes, so I'll be happy to answer them when that time comes. But as of right now, I made a trailer for episode 3 by using every single shot from both Kenobi trailers that we didn't get to see in episode 1 and 2. Therefore, we'll be seeing them in episode 3. So here is everything coming in episode 3 of the Kenobi series. Check it out. Thank you for watching. Leave a like if you did enjoy, subscribe for more, and goodbye. That was fast.